Professor Dr. Rozia Omar, Deputy Director General of Higher Education Malaysia for Private Institution of Higher Education, representing the Secretary General of the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Dr. Wan Zahid Wan Muhammad Nordin, Chairman of the Board of Advisors of Malaysia's Higher Education Leadership Academy, ARCEP. Professor Dr. Muhammad Kamal Haji Harun, Director of Malaysia's Higher Education Leadership Academy. Yang berbahagia Profesor Datuk Dr. Musa Ahmad, Vice Chancellor of University Science Islam Malaysia. Professor Dr. Rushada Hashim, Director of the World Islamic Countries University Leaders Summit 2015. Madam Nurjana Jamari, Director of the Nurul Yakin Foundation. Senior officials from the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia and the various Ministries of Education and Higher Education of the Islamic countries. Distinguished governance, board members, chancellors, vice-chancellors and leaders from the Islamic countries' universities, distinguished speakers and presenters of WICULS 2015, delegates and participants of the summits, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning and a very warm One Malaysia welcome to the World Islamic Countries University Leaders Summit WICULS 2015. On behalf of the organizers, we would like to extend our warmest welcome to all present here today for our first day of the summit, and of course a very special Selamat Datang, welcome to Malaysia to all our respected foreign delegates. Ladies and gentlemen, our deepest gratitude and appreciation of course goes to Yang Berbahagia Datuk Professor Dr. Rozia Omar, the Deputy Director General of Higher Education Malaysia, for taking time off your busy schedule to be with us here today, Datuk. We thank you for your kind presence. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give another big round of applause for Yang Berbahagia Datuk Professor Dr. Rozia Omar, our guest of honor today. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will begin today's ceremony with prayer recital. I would now like to invite Mr. Hussaini Mamoor on stage to lead the prayer recital, if you please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا حامدين حمدا شاكرين حمدا صابرين حمدا نعمه ويكافئ مزيده يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ولوالدينا وارحمهم كما ربونا صغارا ولجميع المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami menadah tangan memohon kepadamu, ya Allah, berkatilah majlis kami pada hari ini, iaitu World Islamic Countries University Leaders Summit 2015. Ya Allah, kami memohon kepadamu, ya Allah, rahmatilah dan naungilah program kami pada hari ini. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, ampunkanlah dosa-dosa kami, ya Allah, dosa kedua ibu bapa kami dan dosa semua muslimin muslimat. Ya Allah, ya Wadud, jadikanlah setiap daripada kami pemimpin yang berjaya dalam mentadbir apa jua urusan, menjadikan setiap kerja kami hasil yang produktif dan juga dapat melahirkan insan-insan yang hebat yang membantu dalam membangunkan ummah. Ya Allah, ya Aziz, Engkau kurniakanlah kami kekuatan dalam memberikan idea-idea yang bernas, seterusnya dapat membentuk organisasi yang mantap dan berjaya. Allahumma ya arhamar rahimin, kami memohon kepadamu, ya Allah, pereratkanlah tali persaudaraan kami. Kami memohon kepadamu, ya Allah, tanamkanlah sifat-sifat mahmudah, jauhkanlah sifat-sifat mazmumah dalam diri kami ini, ya Allah. Sesungguhnya Engkau maha berkuasa lagi maha bijaksana. Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min jahdil bala' wa daraki syiqa' wa su'il qada' wa syamatatil a'da' ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم.
Thank you to Mr. Huzaini Mamour for leading the prayer recital. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the World Islamic Countries University Leaders Summit, WICULS 2015, is a noble initiative by the Malaysian Higher Education Leadership Academy and University of Science Islam Malaysia with the support from the Malaysian government through the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia. With the theme, Rewriting the Narrative, Higher Education for the 21st Century, WICULS 2015 will provide the perfect platform to nurture a deeper understanding of the current and the future needs of higher education leadership in Islamic countries. And to give us further insight into this noble initiative and also into the organization of this summit, it gives me a great pleasure to invite Professor Dr. Roshada Hashim, the Director of WICULS 2015, to deliver her welcome remark, if you please.
Terima kasih pengurusi majlis. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang berbahagia Datuk Profesor Dr. Roziah Omar, Deputy Director General of the Higher Education Malaysia for Private Institution of Higher Education, representing the Secretary General of the Ministry. Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Dr. Wan Zahid bin Wan Muhammad Nordin, Chairman of the Board of Advisors of Malaysia's Higher Education Leadership Academy ACAD. Yang bahagia Profesor Dr. Muhammad Kamal Haji Harun, Director of Malaysia's Higher Education Leadership Academy ACAD. Yang berbahagia Profesor Datuk Dr. Musa Ahmad, Vice Chancellor of University Islam Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organizing committee, it gives me great honor and pleasure to welcome you to WICULS 2015, which is jointly organized by the Higher Education Leadership Academy ACAD and University Science Islam Malaysia USIM. I am pleased to note that this summit has attracted slightly more than 100 participants from at least 13 countries, comprising of leaders in higher education, academics, university students, as well as individuals outside the realm of higher education. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all too familiar that the task of producing knowledge workers to move the economic development of a nation has long been entrusted to universities, which are bastions of knowledge for knowledge and research. Our role over the years has expanded to community engagement to ensure that knowledge is transferred effectively for maximal impact. And true to form, for decades, the knowledge delivered and generated through research and innovation at universities have been instrumental in many aspects of social and economic development that we are experiencing today. And together with the wave of globalization and technological advancement, which has had far-reaching and positive impacts on our lives, we cannot deny that for many of us, our standard of living has improved, our food supply more bountiful than ever, and our lifespan extended. The irony, however, is that while many of us get an education, there are still many who are uneducated. We have connectivity at our fingertips, yet we are unconnected. Many societies are now affluent, but there remains 1/5 of the world population, about 1.47 billion people, living below poverty line. Evidently, these achievements of knowledge creation and research advancement in science and technology has come at a very high cost. We are now confronted with the monsters of our own creation: global warming, climate change, deforestation, famine, and the perpetration of white-collar crimes, just to name a few. Many of us in this generation have come to translate the meaning of survival of the fittest to a T, where there is no room for the weak and underprivileged. There are more displaced and marginalized communities today than ever before because of greed, aggression, and conflict. We have effectively and sadly become effective vandals of our earth. So therefore, we need to ask ourselves, is university education a good preparation for citizenship in the 21st century and beyond? It is obvious that our present system fragments rather than unifies, separates emotion from intellect, practicality from theoretical issues, and has fundamental problems and serious weaknesses. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, WICULS is important. And WICULS is different in that it aims to challenge the current provision of higher education and research by rethinking teaching and research and redesigning learning in universities to produce knowledge workers who are in sync with the laws of nature, embracing the original spirit of the philosophy of knowledge acquisition and generation. This summit, themed as rewriting the narrative, will therefore glean the past, consider current global developments while looking into the future scenario of higher education to embody an education system where there is harmony between religion and knowledge, where ideals that provide solutions for humanity, as it did during the golden age of Islam, was not just for the Muslim Ummah, but was for everyone. Therefore, to ensure a vibrant discussion during the summit, we feature a blend of highly renowned speakers from both academia and also professionals who are actively involved in societal development. This, together with the diverse group of participants from the higher education sector, it is envisaged that the summit can capitalize on everyone's expertise, experience, and vision to discuss, debate, and dissect these issues that will color the tapestry of our future generations. For the relentless work and effort, including the teamwork from the organizing committee, I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone involved in the preparation of the summit, both from ACAP and from USIM. I would also like to say thank you on behalf of the organizers to the speakers and moderators, many of whom have come from afar to grace our summit and also to share their thoughts and to give their contribution. On this occasion, I would like to give a special mention to my mentor and hopefully old friend, Tan Sri Zulkifli Abdul Razak, who has been instrumental in putting the academic together. Thank you, Tan Sri. Finally, to our international guests, I wish you a memorable stay in Malaysia. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our efforts as well as guide us as we deliberate over the next 2 days and pave the way for a successful summit and for more WICULS in the future. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Roshada Hashim, for your welcome remarks. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as one of the leading education hubs in the region, Malaysia has always been committed in strengthening collaboration with other countries in the field of education, and we are indeed very proud to be the host of WICULS 2015. And to officially open the summit, it gives me great pleasure now to invite Yang Berbahagia Dato' Professor Dr. Rozia Omar, the Deputy Director General of Higher Education Malaysia for Private Institution of Higher Education, to deliver her officiating speech. Yang Berbahagia Dato', if you please.
Terima kasih saudara pengurusi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Dr. Wan Zahid bin Wan Muhammad Nordin, Chairman of the Board of Advisors of Malaysia Higher Education Leadership Academy. Yang bahagia Tan Sri Ashad Ayub, Board of Advisor ACAP. Yang bahagia Professor Dr. Muhammad Kamal Haji Harun, Director of ACAP, welcome on board. Yang berbahagia Prof. Datuk Dr. Musa Ahmad, Vice Chancellor USIM, Prof. Dr. Roshada Hashim, Director of World Islamic Countries University Leaders Summit 2015, distinguished speakers, presenters of the conference, delegates and participants, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, all praises to Allah SWT with blessing and salutation upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad. Alhamdulillah, we are gathered here today to witness an occasion, the inaugural World Islamic Countries Universities Leaders Summit 2015. I would like to thank you, the teams from ACAP, USIM, and also the International Institute of Advanced Islamic Studies for this joint effort together to organize this event. Ladies and gentlemen, universities today are experiencing challenges and issues determined by the globalizing world. The explosion of knowledge and information has created the new knowledge economy of the 21st century. Knowledge is regarded as the key domain for economic growth, and strengthening the nation's intellectual capital has become a matter of national importance in many countries today. This has to a certain extent influenced the role of higher education within these countries. The traditional role of universities as an institution that conserve, understand, and extend the intellectual, scientific, and artistic heritage within society is now being challenged with the economic roles of knowledge and also the economy's role of the graduates they produce. In many aspects, this has compelled universities today to revisit their functions. Universities are seen to undergo major transformations in their missions, governance, as well as looking at the value of knowledge they produce within the context of the economy and the society. The emphasis on performance has now seemed to become students as products, employers as customers, who will consume these products, and also research should be funded by clients. While this may be the scenario, allow me to share with you a report written by Sir Michael Barber of the UK Institute for Public Policy Research entitled Avalanche is Coming, Higher Education and the Revolution Ahead, written in 2013. Quote, according to him, within the next 50 years, we could see a golden age for higher education, but only if all the players in the system, from students to government, seize the initiative and act ambitiously. If not, an avalanche of change will sweep the system away. Our belief is that deep, radical, and urgent transformation is required in higher education as much as it is in the school systems. Unquote. As such, I strongly believe that this conference will be a good platform to seize this initiative. Within the theme Rewriting the Narrative, Higher Education for the First 21st Century, university leaders of the Islamic countries should embrace this opportunity to look at the current volatile educational and incorporate within the Islamic principle in education. Ladies and gentlemen, the Malaysian universities are rooted fundamentally to the national education policy. This policy is about an ongoing effort toward developing the potential of individuals in a holistic and integrated approach. It intends to create a balanced and harmonious intellectuals, spiritually and emotionally, guided by faith and devotion to God. The target is to produce Malaysian citizens who are knowledgeable, responsible, and capable enough of achieving well-being and contribute to the betterment of society and the state. The Malaysian government, through the Ministry of Higher Education, has launched the Malaysian Education Blueprint for a period of 2015 to 2025. I must say that ethics and morality, plus knowledge and skills, form the foundation of this new blueprint, especially in the graduate development agenda. It identifies 6 key elements that should form the student aspiration, in which ethics and spirituality being the first. It aims at producing graduates who are ethically and morally upright, spiritually grounded, compassionate, and caring, as well as appreciate sustainable development and living a healthy lifestyle, besides possessing great leadership skills. Within the context of the system, the blueprint focuses on addressing few fundamental issues, especially on access, quality, equity, unity, and efficiency. Specific goals for these issues were set, which includes, first, Malaysia aspires to see an increase in the current 48% higher education enrollment to 70% by 2025. Second, the quality of graduates, quality of institution, and the quality of overall system shall be continuous focus for the ministry. Third, the ministry is committed to improving the enrollment and completion rate of students from the socio-economically disadvantaged backgrounds and communities. Fourth, similarly, the ministry is committed to ensuring that enrollment in Malaysian university reflects the mix of Malaysian ethnicity, aimed at creating an education system that provides students with shared values, shared experiences, and common aspiration by embracing diversities. Fifth, Ministry is also mindful of maximizing the return of investment in higher education to ensure efficiency. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to align the aspiration of the system and student, the blueprint worked to redefine the need for a new and transformative Malaysian higher education system. 5 major changes were identified to make up a system that will realize the desired goals. They are: instill an entrepreneurial mindset throughout Malaysian higher education system and creates a system that produces graduates with drive to create jobs rather than to only seek jobs. Construct a system that is less focused on traditional academic pathways and places an equal value on technical and vocational education. Third, focuses on outcomes over input and to actively pursue technologies and innovation that addresses students' needs and enable greater personalization of the learning experience. Fourth, harmonize how the public and private institutions, we have 500 private institutions now, are regulated and transform the current highly centralized governance system to a model based on earned autonomy. And finally, to ensure the final thing is to ensure the financial sustainability of higher education system by reducing their reliance on the government resources. Ultimately, the transformation of our higher education system shall ensure that students will enjoy high-quality programs offerings through multiple learning modes that use technology, that use better technique in teaching, that enable learning models for further enhance the students' potential. The graduates are holistics, balanced in terms of akhlak and ilmu, entrepreneurial in terms of mindset, and thus they are going to be more employed and better employed. The graduates' enhancement is not only about knowledge and skill, but also the ethics and morality guided by these values. This definitely ties well with today's current thinking, and the World Islamic Countries University Leaders Summit will encourage the development of these values that are so essential to produce morally excellent human beings for our country and also the global society. Ladies and gentlemen, indeed, Islam is a way of life that inculcates the humanistic values such as ethics, humility, fairness, and responsibility, not just today's life here on earth, but also in the afterlife. Islam emphasizes the importance of strengthening our relationship with God. Every good deed is considered an ibadah, and today is a great ibadah indeed. Therefore, it is timely for all stakeholders in higher education in Islamic countries to come together and discuss the way forward in rewriting the narrative to introduce a new educational policy and philosophy that will strengthen our blueprint, that will be more encompassing of humanistic values intrinsic in Islamic principles. As the host of the country for the conference, Malaysia is honored to pioneer these discussions. In line with our blueprint, particularly the 8th shift on global prominence, the Malaysian government strives to become a global point of reference. It is hoped that Malaysia will continue to play an important role in leading and participating in future dialogue for the benefits of the Ummah globally. Ladies and gentlemen, in summary, the evolving world of tertiary education today requires university leaders who can respond positively to changes which affect the function of universities as the seat of scholarship and citizenry and in addressing current and future concerns. University leaders must consider education for the Muslim Ummah that is closely aligned through the philosophy of learning in Islam. As quoted in Sir Michael Barber, just an avalanche shaped the mountain, so the changes ahead will fundamentally alter the landscape for the universities. It is hoped that today's conference will help to spearhead a different kind of avalanche, immersing the world with a more holistic brand of education based on Islamic principles which are adaptable for the changing society, present and future. Once again, I would like to thank all committee members from ACAP, USIM, for your commitment and determination in making this conference a success. Without further ado, with the almighty blessing, inshallah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I hereby officiate the inaugural World Islamic Countries University Leaders Summit 2015. Thank you, wabillahi taufiq, wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you to Yang Berbahagia Datuk Professor Dr. Razia Umar, the Deputy Director General of Higher Education Malaysia, for your speech and for officially opening WICULS 2015.